What's going on, guys? It's Shane with Blacktop Racing. I'm here with Mr. Byrd. So we are here in a 2006 STI, Subaru STI, of course. Man, this is bringing back some memories right here, dude. So I used to drive a white one with Josh Luster, and I also used to drive with Byrd also in some events. And so we always used to kind of do a nice little comparison to see where the development of his car was going. And yeah, he's won today at the Autocrossers Inc. Event. So I would say that the car is working pretty darn well. And he's been doing very well. Him and the STU crowd here actually had 7 in class. So, you know, the crew just stays together and does well. So this car, it's an 06. Right. You want to kind of break down a little bit as far as what you have done to the car? Okay.
Just starting motor-wise, pretty much stock. All I got is a Cobb Downpipe and Borla exhaust. STU tuned by Agile. So and that was done maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. So at the time I was putting down about 318 and about 292 pounds of torque. So
nice.
Suspension wise, I have the AST's Coilovers by Turning Concepts. Upgraded spring rates from 9K up front, 8K in the rear. So it's roughly about, I think, about 500 pounds up front and about like 4 something in the rear. I had the Racecom Engineering sway bars, so 25mm front and rear, both set to soft. And that's about it, other than just the tires and wheels, having 9-inch wide wheels. Pretty much everything else is.
So these are 9-inch or 9.5 wide?
9-inch.
9-inch,
yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and so for some of you guys that don't know, STU is actually unlimited when it comes to wheel width. So in Josh's car, he was running a 9.5, and then Byrd here is running a 9-inch. So it doesn't hurt too much. What that kind of does is how you want to have the tires stretched, and so you have the 17s on here, right?
Yep, 17s.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what happens when you go with the 17s versus the 18s is that you actually lose some gearing. And for you guys that don't know, the STI, oh man, the gearing is not great. Yeah. So I'm gonna just take a nice first run, see how the car is, and go from there. Oh yes. Oh yeah. I remember this power. Oh, it actually rotates pretty well.
Oh yeah.
Nice. A little bit of brake tap to get it going. It rotates pretty well with that little lift. Now these cars are not good with sweeping, so you kind of got to V them off and just power out. Probably hitting the limiter.
Yeah. On the limiter already.
Hard on the brakes here. It's really tight, but you can just roll on the throttle, brakes hard, pivot in, floor it out.
Alright.
So start off with a 43.9, kind of feeling out the car. As usual with the Subarus, it's not NA obviously, it's turbocharged. So you kind of have to feel out where the throttle is when it comes to putting down the power. So right now, just kind of getting acclimated with that. Coming out of a Miata where it's instant, this you have to actually time it, and the torque that this thing has will actually push you offline. So what you have to do in some cases is anticipate that, turn in a little bit more, get on the gas, and it's actually going to push you out. So that's one thing that's actually really cool that a lot of people don't realize with the STI. Also, one other thing that I tend to do is I actually trail brake a lot, just to kind of tuck the nose in, and so I can lighten up the rear and get it pivoted. So since I learned how to drive pretty much with, I have a WRX and now an STI that I used to drive, we'll see how this thing goes. So a little lift pivot here. Little pivot around, trail brake in, try to hit that cone and roll on the throttle. Well, that part wasn't great, but since it has a limiter early, trying to push it a little too hard here. Forget the suspension actually isn't as stiff as the Miata, of course, so my timing was just a little off on there, just to say the least. So sorry, Danny, for creating a mess out there. Came with a 30 or a 3.5, but you know that thing was super dirty. But as far as the car, we'll pull around and kind of just chit chat about the car a bit.
Yeah.
So the car actually feels pretty good. It is softer. I mean, you do daily this one?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Okay.
Not anymore, yeah.
But as far as the setup on it, it is a little bit softer. But the thing is that that's what you wanted with an STI.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why you wanted that with the STI, because you want to increase the mechanical grip. When you started going too stiff on the STI, or for most all-wheel drive cars, what tends to happen is that you get massive understeer. And in comparison to the Miata that I just jumped out of, I'm running pretty much the same spring rates.
Right.
So, and that car is just a lot more planted. So with that one, just the timing of the hands, I kind of got out. And this, I forgot, if you do a nice aggressive lift,
yes,
you know, the rear
rotate.
Does come around.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what happened there. Yep. Kind of drifted out on that last back end, and then coming into the slalom was like a little too aggressive. I was like, okay, I can swing it out here. Then it gripped, then it slid, because nobody went out that far that I did. And yeah, I got into the gravels, and that was it. So yeah. We'll just leave it at that. But yeah, I mean, the car is affordable. You say you have 245s on this.
Yep, 245s.
Right?
Yep.
And so now what you can actually do, they actually allowed the all-wheel drive cars to go with 265s.
Yep.
But a lot of people, when it came to the STIs, are having some issues trying to find that right combination, right?
Yep.
So that's the only thing that's really tough. Martin Chris, which also runs STI 06, he ran out at Nationals, and he actually runs 245 rivals on his. He actually didn't even care about the 265s. He tested them. He said that it was no faster, it wasn't as comfortable because he couldn't get the rotation that he wanted. So he just kept it at that. And then John Hill, which actually has Josh's old car, he got 3rd place. So just behind 2 Z's, that's being Brian Highcotter. I mean, who's that guy? You know, it's one of the fastest guys in the damn sport consistently. And then you had Jeff Stewart also in a Z. So, you know, it just shows right there that the STI can still do it. It's just a matter of getting everything dialed in, and obviously it lacks the things naturally because it's an all-wheel drive car. But you know, you can pick up one of these. They're actually still holding their value, man.
Yeah, man.
I mean, they're still in the 20s. For a 10-year-old car, these things are still holding their value. And these are arguably, the 06 is arguably the best one. As far as the trouble-free one, we all know what happened after 08. You know, your engine may blow. You never know.
Take your time, Bob.
You never know. You start turning up the, you know, the boost, or even just tuning it, and then a ring may blow here, whatever the heck it is. So yeah. So going back to this, I mean, the car is still good. Locally, it's obviously a winner. Nationally, it's just behind the Z's. So don't sleep too much on the 06s. The 07s did have a change as far as the transmission. Longer second gear, but also they made some tweaks to the DCCD, which is the center diff. So it actually doesn't engage as aggressively as the 06. So that's why everybody says this is arguably the best year. So, I mean, thank you, sir.
No problem.
For letting me drive. It's like back in the day. A little nostalgia here. You know, still swinging it. Almost spun an all-wheel drive car, and I didn't even come close to spinning mine. So it's kind of crazy. But anybody looking for an all-wheel drive car, you can't go wrong with the 06s if you can find them unmolested. The Evos are still good. The 9s, again, if you can find them unmolested, can fit the 265s. So Ocas actually has those on there, and Nick Barbado actually drove that car at the Pro or the Tour, whichever one event was down here. And you know, the boost buggies are not dead. Thank you, John Hill, for showing that. And you know, good old reliable. Knock on whatever.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. So we'll catch you guys next time. I'm actually going to jump into a Camaro. I couldn't jump into the 370Z that I thought because he broke his strut. Damn, the Z is always breaking, man. But thank you for hopefully let me drive that one, Justin, maybe next time. So thank you for the STU prepped STI. Did good. And continues to do good. I'll catch you guys later.
Later. Cool. Sweet, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
I was like, oh yeah, I can get more. Whoa! Yeah, I forgot.